Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Ladder Legends replay analysis. Today we have a team fight between Jay and Pgoose. It's going to be a Protoss versus Zerg over here of the Diamond variety. And we're going to be helping the Protoss player out. His only notes were that he didn't die. He didn't die in 4 minutes or less, so... Alright. So what do we have here? We had a bunch of talking in the beginning. So what does this mean? This means our Nexus is now... This is what? 2 seconds in, so started at 134. Our Nexus is 13 seconds late, and that also means our Cybercore is about 5 or 6 seconds late as well. So, we'll be focusing on our build in the early game. Instead of typing would be ideal. Grab a pylon here, coming out. We did get good scouting information. Now this probe, if you want, you can put it on patrol here, or send it to the third base immediately if you don't think you have the APM to do so. Okay, we are doing the patrol method. And we leave. Drone going out for the third. Adept is coming out as well. So we have started our Stargate. Now we need to start our Warp Gate. Very good. And we have the second gateway to finish walling off. So this is where we'd want to be using Chrono Boost on probes. We've not used about 2 Chrono Boosts so far. One of them would have normally been on the unit, but you didn't Chrono Boost that. That's fine. We could be using that on probes or on Oracle. Either way, though, we definitely don't want to let this Chrono Boost energy get to over 100 here, which it looks like that's what we're about to do, actually. Chrono Boosts are your most powerful macro tool here. If we're not energy overcharging or Chrono Boosting, we're wasting stuff. And it looks like we are about to get to that 200 energy mark on this next case. Alright, now we are just completely wasting energy here. 4 Gen Twilight counts are coming down for a Blink Stalker follow-up. Both are slightly delayed, but not the end of the world. My biggest issue is that we haven't used Chrono Boosts from our main Nexus this entire time. Assuming we're going to get some in with this Forged Twilight. Looks like our man Jay here is going for a Ling Flood. We always want a battery in the third base. I mean, excuse me, Pgoose. There we go. Now we're getting some Chrono Boosts coming in. We're going for a Templar Archives. All right. And charge. So Zerg is going for Ling Bane plus Spire. We haven't had any follow-up information, any scouting. Normally that's what the Oracles are for. Once you get the third base set up with a battery, you then send the Oracles towards the main base to scout for Lair, potential Spire. He also has 2 Queens but no Spore here, so all of these drones are vulnerable to potentially dying. I would normally like to come in from some odd angle. That way you can get into these odd angle mineral lines. But yeah, these Oracles have been very inactive. Okay, warping in some Templar. We're going for a Robo. If we knew that this were Muta, we would already be putting in cannons into our mineral lines and then potentially making things like Phoenix. So that's why scouting is so important. I have a feeling these Mutas are about to show up and it's just going to be the end of us. Your macro thus far has been pretty alright. We've consistently floated about 1,000 resources and we have not been using our Chrono Boosts whatsoever. So going for a 4th base at a decent timing. Our probe count is about 6 or 7 less than what it could be. Not the end of the world. But let's take a look. We're adding in 4 more gateways. We currently have 2 gateways, so we're going to be going up to 6. We should be going up to anywhere between 8 to 10. But the biggest thing is we just don't know that the mutas are coming. So let's make sure we get a follow-up scout. Even warping in a sentry to hallucinate a Phoenix to send it in. That way you don't have to worry about it dying would also be ideal. But not knowing these mutas are coming while we're doing things like going for Prism. We're going for like Archon Zealot. And these mutas are about to just cause the GG. So yeah, this is the lack of information gathering. It's all good. Definitely, you always, if you're going to warp in at your next closest base, for sure. We definitely do. And the best thing you could do right now is send your ground force across the map. Like you have charge, you have +1. So we could warp in a bunch of Zealots and send them across, or send these units across and warp in a bunch of Stalkers. But what should immediately happen is we run the probes away, cannon, Phoenix, cannon, all that good stuff. But yeah, Muta's player is also very susceptible to counterattacks. He had a grand total of 27 Lings. So had we been warping in on cooldown and or getting our production on time and we have a decent ground army, we can send that for a counterattack and your goal becomes do more damage to him than I am taking. But yeah, let's make sure we gather our information properly. That way we know how to react and we can have a solid plan of what we want to do going into the mid game. Hopefully these tips help, Jay. If you have any questions, you know my DMs are always open. Thank you for the submission, and I'll see you next time.